what's going on in the region of Waterloo, you just got to listen to this show. It's as simple as that. I know it's a tall order because I can be really, really annoying, especially for 4 hours every day. But I promise you, we keep you up to date with the things that are happening in your backyard. And there's so much going on around here. I'll take this as an opportunity to remind you again that we are, as a region of 630-ish thousand people. Did I say that right? 630,000? Yeah. Anyway, the 10th largest municipality in the entire country. So what happens here should not only matter to us here living in it, but what matters here, or what happens here, matters well beyond our borders. This region is also a key part of the economic engine of this province and of this country. So I love the chance when we get to take it to shine a spotlight on an organization that's doing some of the heavy lifting in our community. And one such organization is the Literacy Group. Its executive director is Chris Prosser, and he joins us for a chat this afternoon. Chris, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. I certainly speak for everybody when we don't find you at all boring or anything like that. These 4 hours fly by.
You are kind, sir, and you can come back anytime you want.
Thank you.
So let's start with the organization for which you are the ED, the Literacy Group. What do you do there, Chris?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on again. So the Literacy Group of Waterloo Region, we've been around in the community serving Waterloo Region, of course, since 1999, and we support the 1 in 4 adults in our region with the lowest levels of literacy skills. So, like you said before, and I stand by this every day, there's no better community that I've ever worked in that has such a great network of community service providers who really can support the needs of our community, and we are just like I said, a part of that, who are supporting this percentage of adults who have those low skills.
So, what sorts of programs do you offer through the Literacy Group?
So we're the only organization in town, community-based, that support learners with one-to-one tutoring, small groups, and small group modular programs as well. And the kind of programs that we serve are meeting the the specific needs of the learners. So whether a learner who comes to us wants to learn to read to their grandkids, or they want to pass the citizenship course, or they, even if they want to go for that job and have to get the forklift license, we will meet the needs. We'll assess them. We'll listen to them. We'll create that SMART goal, which will enable them to reach their goal.
I love the way you describe that, because I wondered what makes it important. And there are so many reasons that it is important, right? From reading to that grandchild to making sure that you can pass that important test.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, 1 in 4 adults in the region, they simply don't have the skills to find and keep a living wage job. And we discovered, certainly over the pandemic, these adults have also struggled to understand and navigate the healthcare system. So, having those low skills, that invisible barrier, because, I'm sure you agree with me, you can't walk down the street and recognize someone with poor literacy. It certainly is an invisible barrier. So we've been able to work nonstop certainly through the last couple of years, as challenging as it's been, with the community, and meet those needs of the adults, and certainly as they've come up through the pandemic.
When you talk about this invisible barrier that it is, we wouldn't know if we're just passing that individual on the street. I can only imagine then, Chris, how difficult it may be on your part through the Literacy Group to reach these adults that really need and could benefit from the services.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of our learners they find ways around to hide their poor literacy and their poor skills. We always I remember having a student who would pretend to take off his glasses when he had to find an address of a location, and he would go into a store or speak to a neighbor saying he's forgotten his glasses. Could they help him out with reading this? And it was because of his poor literacy, he couldn't read the words. So, a lot of our learners, as well as struggling with the day-to-days of living in poverty and living with poor health, because sadly with poor literacy, you are 2 or 3 times more likely to be living in poor health and poverty. that additional stress of not being able to work and live in today's society where digital literacy and the written word is what we need to survive. So yeah, we're working hard, but we're incredibly proud of how well our learners have worked and maintained their motivation and kept working through the pandemic, and we're seeing some real success with our learners, which is great.
How are you able to do the work that you do as an organization?
So we have a large support comes from provincial funding, but then United Way, fundraising, donations, and more to the point, the kindness of volunteers and the support of the community as well. But learners are coming through our door through their choice, through word and mouth. But like I said before, we're supported by a fantastic community, one of the strongest in the country, in the province, certainly in the country, about how well we refer clients between programs and how well community partners know each other's programs. So that wraparound service that clients with barriers and underrepresented communities can get in the region is applaudable. It really is.
I wonder that the challenges that you must face. We talked about the outreach that's got to be done, but as we continue to welcome more and more new people to our community, Chris, I only imagine that puts greater and greater pressure on the delivery of the services that you provide.
Yeah, I mean, adult literacy upgrading programs, both the school boards and community based, have certainly seen a very large increase of immigrants looking to increase their literacy, and there is a big gap between language development and literacy, numeracy, and digital skills, because there are plenty of organizations, wonderful organizations in town that help with language training, but we also support with the reading, the writing, workplace skills, digital literacy, and numeracy. So we're seeing a lot of newcomers to Canada who can access our programs in our workplace programs, whether that's our customer service literacy programs. But it's been really fantastic to see that change and to see learners coming in, and as we follow up with them throughout the year, we're seeing that they're having that success in employment or finding and keeping employment thanks to these literacy programs. But yeah, it is as my predecessor, she may be listening, once said, and I stand by this, is literacy isn't sexy. It's a hard one to tug on the heartstrings of people. But we're really working hard, and the community through our support networks, through Project Read, are really working hard to try and say how literacy or poor literacy is really one of the root causes to some of the biggest issues that are facing our community today.
It's a really good way to look at it and a really good way to position this. And just as you were talking about those follow-ups and some of those success stories, it, I think, demonstrates in a very tangible way the benefits of providing these adult literacy services and what they can bring to the person receiving them. Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we're seeing, we're not seeing a slowdown. That's for sure. We're seeing a lot more youth needing to access our programs, particularly to upgrade their confidence and their numeracy and workplace skills, those soft skills we talk about. So we're seeing a lot ahead of us in front of TLG to keep working with the next generation of learners, but also to stay in the game with working with the seniors as well, because seniors are working with some of the lowest levels of digital literacy skills we've ever seen, and we like to think that we can work with any age from 16 to I think our most senior is 89 right now. So we're able to work with anybody on ever level for however long they need us.
That's absolutely amazing. Chris, where can folks find out more about the literacy group, what you do, and perhaps even support by way of contribution or time?
Yeah, I mean, everything they need is on our website, theliteracygroup.com. If I would say that we are continually looking for volunteers who want to make a real difference in people's lives, so they can either go to the Volunteer Waterloo website or go straight to theliteracygroup.com, and we have a little section there, or give us a call and come down. There's nothing more I love more than meeting the community, and we're always open to speak to anybody who has any questions or anything. The best thing about literacy is there's always something more to learn. We're always about continual learning, so that's one of our big missions, is to get more into the community and teach more about the need of literacy.
I'm really glad you could make time for our show today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for everything.
Chris Prosser is the executive director of the Literacy Group.